What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. We are going to talk about 2021, just the whole year, how things went for Marvel Strike Force. It was a volatile year, to say the least. There was a lot of high highs and a lot of low lows, and we're going to talk about really the teams that we got this year. There's 10 different teams that we got. Legendary characters, we got 3 legendary characters this year, and also a significant change to how some of the legendaries work. And then also talk about the 12 events we had for this year as well. Some really good events, some really bad events, and then talk about the game modes that we got this year. Really just kind of cover in general what we had happen in Marvel Strike Force, what was good, what was bad, talk about how some of these teams have changed things. There was a team in here that got a rework twice because the first iteration of it was so bad. We're going to talk about all that in today's video. If you guys do enjoy this video, you do find it helpful. Actually, I don't know how you guys would find it helpful, but if you guys do enjoy this video and do enjoy this yearly review, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. And you know what? Let's start by talking about the teams. The first big team that we got this year was none other than Skill Military. And this one, to say that it was not good on its first release would be an understatement. This team, we originally did not have Black Widow. It was just Punisher, Killmonger, Red Guardian, Merc Soldier, and Yelena, and the team was not good. It was promised as a team that could punch across with Emma and Black Order, and the problem was deflex and boosts really screwed with this team. This team does not work well because they were so tied to copying and transferring positive effects. The 25% chance to resist automatically because of deflex was a big problem. There was a lot of issues with focus, and also Yelena, like a big part of using Yelena against your Marauder teams was her going dark special where she had to apply Disrupted to Strife. If she didn't apply Disrupt with this, then it wouldn't work. And this attack originally did not have this part about not being blocked. They had to put that in with 2.0, and that came out much later in the year. Actually, about halfway through the year, we got the rework to Skeletor with Black Widow, and we got the special that was unblockable with Yelena, and some other boosts to them. There was offense up with speed up with Black Widow, some assist. She was very helpful in making this team better, but overall, this team on its first release was just not good, and it led to a lot of controversy in the community. There was the whole deflect issue. This team required a lot of T4s. The community did not enjoy the beginning of the year because this is the first team we got, and it was bad, and there was a lot of discussion. And honestly, I think I may just do like a video essay talking about how the failures of this team drastically changed our war teams for the future, because you'll see the failures of the original Skeletor team. You'll see parts of that being implemented into later teams, and just kind of talk about like the backroom conversations that the envoys had with Scopely about why this team didn't work and why this team, like, just how they had to rework it, because it just didn't work and people were furious. Dumped a lot of T4s on this team. It didn't work for war, and it was the one mode that this team was used for. Later on, we did get the Back to Boot Camp event, which allowed us to use this team to get training modules, but at the time, this was just a war team, and it was not good. So then, moving on from that, we then got another war team the next month. And this one, it was a night and day difference, and it was Shadowland. We had reworks to Daredevil, Elektra, and Night Nurse, 2 new characters in White Tiger and Moon Knight, and this team was everything that Skeletor wasn't. It did massive punch-ups. We got like 300k punch-ups against Marauder teams. You could punch up 100, 200k against Black Order teams. It was a very strong war offense team, and it was the war meta team. It beat pretty much everything. The only thing it didn't really have, or the one thing it did struggle against, was Mercenaries. And that's just because the pre-applied taunt and how that was an issue where you had White Tiger, because you geared her up the most and she had a very high damage stat. But yeah, Mercs kind of picked this team apart, but everything else, Shadowland destroyed. And it was a very good team. A lot of T4 investment in it, but it was a great return because every T4 you dumped on this team made them so much better. So this one, yeah, it was night and day difference. It also left some people a little concerned because, you know, we got Skeletor, which was terrible, and then Shadowland the next month. And I remember even in my own video talking about this team for the embargo, people are like, okay, cool. So does that just mean we're going to throw Skeletor to the side? And we continue to fight about Skeletor with Scopely for like a good month or two after Shadowland came out. But this was our big team for the month of February, but at the same time, we also got two characters that kind of finished things off. We'll talk about the Legendary here. Jubilee and Bishop came out in this release, and that finished off your astonishing X-Men team. Jubilee was a Legendary event that required Pimtech, that terrible trash Pimtech team, where all you really need to do was take all of your Pimtech up to tier 12, except Ghost take her up to tier 15, and eventually you'd get through it. But yeah, Pimtech, not a good team. And of course, was required to get Jubilee. But once you got Jubilee, you got a fantastic raid team with your mutants. In fact, this is what you're going to be using for a while in the Doom raids, I have a feeling. We'll probably see something in the future with Doom 3, but this is hands down your best mutant composition for Doom 2.0 and Doom 1. They destroyed Doom 1. Struggle a little bit more in the higher power of Doom 2.3, but again, they're a very powerful team. That was it was nice to see this Legendary really finish off this team. There was some controversy about Jubilee. Was she really worthy of the Legendary tag? But at the end of the day, this team really, really worked and was absolutely fantastic. So then moving on after that, we didn't get a new team per se. The first big release in April, because February into March was Shadowland, Jubilee, and Bishop. We got Silver Surfer late March, I believe, early April. And he is what we call the before and after Silver Surfer meta, because with the introduction of Silver Surfer, we started to see a massive power creep in characters. And he was kind of the first one. He came out, he was like #1 in everything. Like health, damage, you name it, he was top of the line. And his kit was just broken. Like super OP. Of course, that was changed a month later when we got Kestrel, but we'll talk about Kestrel here in a minute. But Silver Surfer came out, broke things, really started to push the power creep that we now have seen for months. But also, we got to the two final characters for X Factor, at least for now, in Polaris and Multiple Man. Multiple Man was a campaign event character. Polaris also came into the game, and then there was some little reworks with Shatterstar and Longshot. If you don't remember, they changed the special on Shatterstar to be unblockable, and they also made the ultimate on Longshot unblockable. Those two changes really helped make this team even better. There was times where you could just use these four on war offense, and they would just destroy things. I did videos talking about how these four on their own were doing like big punch-ups against Emma. It was a good team. Very good war offense team. They don't have much use outside of war. They are used in the Legendary event for Adam Warlock, which we'll talk about here in a minute. But yeah, these four plus Jubilee were used for your Legendary event for Adam. He was part of your Mythic Legendary game. We'll talk about that here shortly. But yeah, this was, you had to use these characters with Jubilee, and that's how you got Adam unlocked. And then in the next patch, we gotta find her. Kestrel. Now, this character was leaked early. Someone in Scopely goofed big time and basically just leaked concept art for Kestrel. And I remember the first time I saw her, I saw the concept art, I thought it was Pyra from, what was her name? The jetpack girl from Overwatch. I legit thought the concept art was of that girl from Overwatch. And then I learned it was a Marvel Strike Force character. And I was like, ooh. Like, same, Egyptian, looks very, very similar to Kestrel. So I was making jokes about how they just ripped off Overwatch and gave us Kestrel. But Kestrel continued the power creep even better than Silver Surfer. And also, it was this big thing where Surfer and Kestrel were hard counters to Doom, which we just gotten in DD4, like in November of the last year. So it was a short-lived meta of Doom being the most powerful character in the game. Surfer comes out in April. Kestrel comes out the next month. And Kestrel was a super hard counter to Doom. Prevents him summoning bots. She blasts targets that have defense down. Just absolutely incredible character. But yeah, it left people very annoyed. I know Mobile Gamer talks all the time about who the heck is Kestrel. Because yeah, this was a Marvel Strike Force exclusive character. Brand new. and they basically made her like the strongest character in the game. So players were not too happy. I knew I wasn't thrilled at the time seeing her be like the most powerful character and to have no lore for her. So yeah, that was a big one, but it was not as controversial as the other team that we got that month, and that was Heroes for Hire. Now, Shang-Chi came out later in September, but Heroes for Hire, Colleen Wing and Misty Knight arrived. We got reworks to Luke Cage and Iron Fist, and this was a nightmare of a defensive team. Nothing could beat it. And it wasn't until we got Infinity Watch that really we had anything that could beat it. And this, to say this team was not well received would be an understatement. Valley Flying still talks all the time about how he hates this team. This team was a pain. You had to do multiple hits against it. And this was a trend they were going for with war defense teams. And, you know, all of us, a lot of the envoys that are looking at this were like, this team does not look like it's fun to fight. Like, Black Order, 400k punchdowns can't beat Heroes for Hire. That's how broken this team was. It still is. But, yeah, this one, I mean, I don't know what else to say. We all know how much this team's terrible on defense. I mean, I built them up because I'm big into war, so I was like, yeah, let's build this team up. Let's throw it out there and let's dare people to fight them. And until we get the next runaround of the next return of Omega Red's Legendary event, which is probably going to be January or February, probably, before we see his Legendary event, this team, like, this team's still the dominant war defense team. And outside of Infinity Watch with solid punch downs and your Weapon X doing huge punch ups, there's not a lot of counters to this team. And that was before Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi made it even worse, but that was in September. But yeah, Heroes for Hire came out, and then in the next month, which I thought was kind of funny and also a little annoying, Infinity Watch arrived, and we got the Adam Warlock Legendary. And I believe this is the first time we had the Mythic Legendary, where in order to get certain stars on Adam Warlock, not only did you have to have certain stars on the characters to unlock him, you also had to do ISO and gear tier levels. So you saw my X Factor a minute ago, they all have to be tier 14 in order to get a 7-star Adam Warlock. And you also had to use Jubilee. So this was another character like we had with Ebony Maw in the past, where that was Inhumans with Black Bolt to unlock Ebony Maw. Now for this one, you had to use X Factor with X Factor with Jubilee, which was unlocked through your Pimtech. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. So yeah, Pimtech to use to unlock Jubilee, which was then used with X Factor to unlock Adam Warlock. This was the arena meta, and I'll be honest, I hated this arena meta from the moment it arrived. This team takes too long to kill. A lot of revives, death proofs, deflects, hellsteel. There's a lot of stuff with this team. I did not like it. I know players did like it because it was a hard counter to your Heroes for Hire, but this team in arena was a mess because it was a big, like, it just took 3-4 minutes to beat. And unlike Black Order, you could defeat Black Order mirror matches in like a minute or two. This team took a lot longer. You could do solid punch-ups against this team as well. So it was one of those things where the mirror matches took too long, and you could do some solid punch-ups in mirror matches. And yeah, it was not fun for me. I did not enjoy it. I also didn't pull high red stars on them at the beginning. Like, I think I only got 3 or 4 on Adam and Moondragon and Phyla-Vel up front. So I was already off to a bad start with this team and already in a bad mood with it. But yeah, I did not like this team. Plenty of people did. It was a hard counter to your Heroes for Hire, which was a big need. And so, yeah, you were doing 300k punch-ups with Infinity Watch against Heroes for Hire. Yeah, that was a good one. But let's move on from there. We already talked about them. Skilletary. Skilletary finally got its rework. And again, I'm gonna do a video essay one day talking about how this team drastically changed how war offense teams work. But Black Widow arrived, or Black Widow didn't arrive, but she finally got that Skilletary tag and the synergies with Yelena and Red Guardian. She brought some stuff here on her own. The speed up here and the clearing negative effects also worked in tandem with the passive from Yelena, where on offense up gains stealth. Where is it? It's somewhere in here, But yeah, also the speed up. While they have speed up, they are basically immune to blind. And then clearing the taunting. So this made your skill Terry a hard counter to Mercs. Also, yeah, this reducing the chance to assist on non-attack abilities. Basically, you could not attack, or Taskmaster would never assist. So it shut down Mercs big time. It was a strong counter to Marauders, but also I found in testing that these could do like a solid 70k punch down on Heroes for Hire before Shang-Chi arrived. And that was probably the most amazing thing that this team could do, because they were stealing so often, especially Black Widow. Black Widow stole everything, and they would steal all the regens, all the death proofs, the deflects. They stole all those buffs, and that's one of the big power things of Skilletary. With the offense up, finally giving enough focus boost to them with that rework with the Black Widow and Yelena synergies. That just kind of finally got everything running in tandem. Here it is. On ally, our ally stealth, apply offense up to self and all Skilletary allies. And death proof. Yeah, that's what it was. The passive on Widow, not the passive on Yelena. I was getting that backwards. But yeah, this team, you took off Killmonger, you put Killmonger back on your Mercs, and these 5 right here just dominated. They were not top tier, but they were very close to being one of the best war offense teams, because just the offense up, and they did stupid damage, the stealing of buffs. They were a very good war offense team, and that was finally the rework we deserved. Again, we fought so long and so hard to get this rework, and it was better than what we expected. And yeah, I was very happy with this rework. So let's move on. New Warriors and Shang-Chi. New Warriors was the first. Actually, I take that back. We had Astonishing X-Men already, but New Warriors was the first of 2 other raid teams that we got. Deathpool, Cloak and Dagger. Deathpool is still bugged. They're still figuring out stuff with their passive, but this team is part of your Mystic raid team, and they kicked butt. They are very good. Deathpool feeding ability energy to your Mystic characters. Cloak and Dagger. This is a strong defense team for war. This is a strong war offense team as well. Pair them up with Silver Surfer and Doom, and you've got an absolutely insane raid team. Also, Adam Warlock fit into the Mystic raid team as well. Yeah, New Warriors and 2 other characters on the team for Mystic raids. Just absolutely fantastic. Nowadays, I use Eternals with them, but we didn't have Eternals at the time. This team was great. And then the other one, and still probably one of my favorite characters in the game right now, Shang-Chi. Now, I like Shang-Chi because he's a powerful character that stands on his own. And it's a character you plug into the skill raid, and especially on the boss node for Doom 2.0, or Doom 2 just in general, he is a monster. His ultimate does a ton of damage, especially if the enemy target has bonus effects. He can heal up his team. He can gain speed bar. And then also, he made Heroes for Hire worse. And I say worse as in this team was so much harder with Shang-Chi. All those counters we had before went out the door. 100k punch downs were now iffy with Infinity Watch against Heroes for Hire because of his ultimate doing so much damage, also reducing speed bar. His special was healing them up, giving them counter, and he was applying speed down. He was giving his team speed up, and he put extra stacks of charge on Colleen and Misty, meaning they dealt more damage, they had more damage reduction, and like 175% bonus resistance with those extra stacks of charge. So yeah, he was not good for Heroes for Hire, but outside of war defense, he hands down was a fantastic character. I still use him in RTA. I'll use like a bunch of weak characters, throw Shang-Chi in, and press auto, and his ultimate will pretty much wipe out the enemy team. It's great. He's a very, very good character. I like him. I think he'd be a lot more popular if he hadn't been such a big issue in making Heroes for Hire worse, but maybe one day we'll get, especially after seeing the Shang-Chi movie, I would love to see a Shang-Chi team where it's him plus other characters from there, like his friend Katie, maybe Wong. Wong would be a little much, but like, I don't want to talk too much about the movie. I don't want to spoil it, but there's some really good ideas for a team in there, and that you can use an empowered mechanic with Shang-Chi with that team, much like you have with Thanos and Black Order. Fingers crossed, like, Scope, if you're watching this, just saying, do an empowered mechanic team with him and his buddies from Shang-Chi, and I don't know, man, you'd have a good team on your hands there. So, of course, in tradition, we have Heroes for Hire come out. Adam Warlock and Infinity Watch comes out the next month. Hard counter to it. So, of course, because we can't let Heroes for Hire have its day. And next month, we got Weapon X and the Omega Red Legendary. And this team, like even a harder counter to Infinity War, or to even a harder counter to Heroes for Hire than Infinity Watch was to the OG Heroes for Hire. Omega Red was a legendary character. In order to get him, you had to use, oh my gosh, yeah, Secret Avengers plus Nick Fury and Winter Soldier. Sorry, it took me a moment. I was starting to say it was Pimtech, but I was like, wait, no, that's not the wrong one. Yeah, it was Secret Avengers plus Nick Fury plus Winter Soldier to get Omega Red. And it was another mythic thing, but once you got him, this is now your new meta war offense team. They punch up big time against everything. They destroy Infinity Watch in war. They absolutely wreck Heroes for Hire in war. We also got a new buff. We had Safeguard with Adam Warlock, but we got a new debuff called Trauma with Omega Red. And Trauma prevented the enemy from removing negative effects. So we put Trauma and Heal Block on the enemy team, and then he would basically just wreck them. They'd eat up their charges trying to heal and cleanse the Trauma and Heal Block, and yeah, they would just die. But this team, very good. Lady Deathstrike was a new character along with Silver Samurai. Silver Samurai was the campaign character, and then Omega Red. And I believe, yeah, I've just now realized I have missed a team here. I'm gonna have to go back. I missed August with Secret Avengers, so we're gonna have to go back and talk about Secret Avengers. But yeah, this was Lady Deathstrike was a good, solid tech grade character. Silver Samurai and Omega Red were the other two new characters. Those were all very good. Let's talk about Secret Avengers. Like I knew I missed someone on this list. I've been staring at it, and it's like I feel like I'm missing a team. I can't believe I forgot these guys. The other raid team we got. This actually came before New Warriors. Secret Avengers, your skill raid team. Captain America, Sam, Sharon Carter, and Maria Hill. Very solid characters. Very good war offense characters. Very decent on war defense. But the speed bar boost that Captain Sam gives on his ultimate was huge. This is, you use these characters, and then you use a mixture of other characters. I use, like, Moondragon, Shang-Chi, or Zemo with these characters. Also, Kestrel. Kestrel's a skill tech character. So, those four, plus a rotating fifth. That's who I use for the Doom 2 nodes for skill. Very, very solid. And, like I mentioned earlier with Omega Red, you use these three with Nick Fury and Winter Soldier, and you got Omega Red. And that was our last Legendary event for the year as well. But then we move on from, yes, the Secret Avengers was August. September was New Warriors and Shang-Chi. October was Omega Red and Weapon X. And November gave us Eternals and Dormammu. Dormammu arrived with DD5. And I'll start doing monthly updates on where I am with Dormammu and DD5. But about 99.9% of your player base will not unlock him for a year because Teal Gear is a pain in the butt. And no one can farm it up. So, yeah, great character, but by the time, like I said in my video, by the time that I get Dormammu, we're going to have hard counters to him because we got Kestrel and Surfer within half a year of Doom arriving. So, Dormammu's here. I expect another 4 to 5 months we're going to get counters to Dormammu. At which point, like I won't have Dormammu, so what's the point? I'm not stressing over getting this guy unlocked. But Eternals have become part of your arena meta, and they are very, very good. They get huge boosts in your arena. They get a lot of bonus damage, bonus resistance, focus, all the base stats. They get huge boosts and a 50% boost to damage in arena, and they're easy ones to drop all T4s on if you want to. I did not do the final T4 for Cersei's basic. I don't need to do that, but I dropped all the T4s on Icarus, and I am patiently waiting for his Red Star promotions to arrive on January 6th. I am just a few mini uniques away from taking up to Tier 16. This will be my first Tier 16, and I'll only need to do 19 more to get Dormammu unlocked, and that's been 2 months. So, thanks, Scopely. No, I'm not salty at all. But, yeah, Eternals were the part of November, and very, very good team. There's only 2 of them. We'll see what happens in the future. We did have a recent event where there was like Olympus blood extract or something, as a gear piece unique. We don't know what it's for, but we're assuming it's going to be for more Eternals in the future. And then finally, in December, we got Web Warriors. This team, Bio Raid Team, replaces Symbiotes. If you can see, I have not really worked on mine. The reason I haven't worked on mine is because my Symbiotes, we're just progressing in Doom 2.0 right now. And my Symbiotes are tier 14 or 15. Blue ISO, really. Venom, I'll worry about eventually, but I use Phyla-Vel in place of Venom right now. But I'm on the right side of the nodes, so Bio is the last section I have to worry about in the Doom 2 nodes. So I'm not in a huge hurry to worry about Bio teams. Symbiotes, people have said they work just fine up through 2.2. And then once you get to 2.3, that's where they fall apart. And that's where Web Warriors come into play. But that's way off for me. So I'll collect them. And if they have to be used for Legendary, that's fine. I mean, I'm about a quarter of the way to 5 stars on Ghost Spider. We'll see how things go with Scarlet Spider and Spider-Punk. But I'm in no hurry to get this. But if you're a newer player, this is a very, very good team to get. Spider-Man Miles and regular Spider-Man are both Blitz supply characters. Very cheap to get in there. And we'll see how they get, but how you get the other 3. But there's actually Blitz for Ghost Spider as well. But Scarlet Spider and Spider-Punk should look like relatively easy unlocks. If you're a newer player, this is going to be a team to prioritize because it's going to get you running on the ground, like on the ground running, because it's going to be a great team you can rely on up until you get to your Doom nodes. So those were our teams that we got in 2021. We talked about the Legendaries already. One other thing to mention is that we did get the introduction of Legendary Mythics, which was, bringing them up to certain gear tier and ISO levels. But also they started a new system this year where they were running the older Legendaries much more often and also mailing shards of characters that you'd use to unlock them. They started with Invisible Woman, and they sent a bunch of Sinister Six and Spider-Verse character shards with that because that's who you use to unlock her and her Legendary. So they're allowing these things to run quite a bit more often. Nick Fury is a year-round Legendary event now. I believe it may have been actually last year. But yeah, he's a year-round Legendary. And we'll see if they add some more in the future. But yeah, we're getting these a lot more often now. These older ones like Magneto, your Star-Lord, Shuri, Invisible Woman. These older ones, you're getting them a lot more now. Same with Black Bolt, I believe, as well. Ebony Maw, and Doc Ock, not yet. I don't think so, but the rest, yes. All right, we were going to talk for 30 minutes. Had to go get a drink of water just to keep going here. But yeah, I already talked about the teams, Legendaries, game modes. Dark Dimension 5, we already mentioned it. It came with a new gear tier, tier 16, teal gear, incredibly difficult to obtain. I think there's only 4 people so far who have completed it, and it has been out for a good couple months now. It came out in early to mid-November. We're now the end of December. It has been a month and a half. There's only 4 players, and they dropped serious money to be able to get him unlocked in time. Tadano Mac returned as your reigning champion, completed DD5 first, but yeah, this has been a controversial one because teal gear is incredibly scarce, and like I said, I think in my DD5 planter it says I've got another, I had to go back and look at 2 years before I would have the characters unlocked, geared up to get DD5 done. It's something absurd because teal gear is so hard to get, especially the uniques. The uniques are not easy to get. They're on the war store and your regular supply section only. They're just not easy to get. So we'll see how things go in the future. But also, Doom 2.0 arrived in September. This was the new raid. And I'm going to have to, I'll just go ahead and join it real quick and I'll do my battles afterwards. But this was your main source of teal gear. So we got this, we could start getting this 2 months before DD5 unlocked. But this gear, it's your primary source of teal gear. But it doesn't drop everything either. Your mini uniques, again, you have to get those through. There's my Blitz rewards. I blitzed way too much today. doing this stuff for this sorcery event. But yeah, you get your origin gear and your catalyst here, but you don't get mini uniques. So you have to get those through the regular gear store. And yeah, it's a pain in the butt. But yeah, Doom 2.0 came out this year. And then also one other thing. Well, two other things, really. Real-time Arena, which we had like 4 or 5 different changes to. Originally, it was all based on knockouts. Then they changed it to abilities. Then they changed it to a mixture of abilities and knockouts. And then finally, they just threw their hands up, said, screw it, we give up. And they basically allowed it to mix with Blitz. So if you do like a couple rotations in Blitz, you knock out your daily objectives for RTA. And the rewards started off pretty good. They've kind of fallen off. The big thing now is that we're not getting new characters in the RTA pass. Now we're getting like teal gear. We're getting costume credits. Like Phoenix's costume was in here. Like, people wanted the character releases in here. We got a couple of them, like Captain Sam was in here. I believe Shatterstar or Longshot was in here as well. We had characters released in here. Bishop was in here too. But they stopped doing that, and now we're getting like gear pieces and costume credits, and people are less than thrilled with that. But also, one other thing to mention, the Strike Pass, the infamous Battle Pass. We knew it was coming at some point because every mobile game does it these days. But yeah, we get this Strike Pass, and they still put character shards in here, like Sharon Carter. This will get me finished. This will allow me to finish off Sharon Carter for the Omega Red event in the future. But also, there's these costume credits, which, yeah, but you know, they put some solid rewards in here. I like the Strike Pass a lot better than the RTA Pass because there's actual gear. And the Strike Pass, and they've changed it to actually give us more rewards now in the future. So we'll see if they do something to adjust it with the Battle Pass as well. But I doubt they will, since 100 is like a nice even number. But the Strike Pass, I'd say, is in a pretty good spot right now. I know people won't buy it because of the costume credits, but I did because this would get me Sharon Carter up to 7 stars, and that would get me ready to go for 7-star unlock on Omega Red. Yeah, that's it for game modes. We have to talk about events, and I gotta give a shout out to Boylan here because he helped me get this all in order. There was 12 events this year. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, there's 12 major events this year, and I really don't want to cover every one of them because we'll be here all night. But let's talk about the best ones. Shang-Chi's event that came out in September alongside his movie. That was the first time we got the event store, and we have seen it multiple times since then. This event store has never really disappointed until the Magic event, which is what's going on now, because you cannot buy Magic shards in here, but I am buying up stupid amounts of Origin Teal gear, so I'm moderately happy with it. But yeah, Magic was only like a 3.5-star unlock through this event, so players were less than thrilled. And I can't blame them. You should be able to buy her shards in here. This is probably the worst iteration of the event store so far. But the event store was a big thing that has been very well received. We'll see if that holds up in the future. Hopefully this trend with no Magic shards inside the store is not going to continue. We'll see what happens there. But fingers crossed they do improve in the future. Just a little bit better. But yeah, the event store was the best thing that came out of events this year. Also, the Black Widow event that came out with her and her movie releasing in July. Yes, July. I can't remember. There's been so many Marvel things this year. I can't remember what came out when. Yeah, but her movie came out in July. We had a fantastic event with her where we got stupid amounts of orange gear, a lot of elite credits. There was really, really good stuff in that event. Everybody loved that event. That was a very well received one. Let's see, what else was there? There was the Forgettable Falcon and Winter Soldier mini event that came out during their TV show, and just like the TV show, that event was completely forgettable. There was the June Pride Month event with Moondragon, which had some serious controversy with it because they decided to put the Pride characters, your LGBT characters, with the quirky tag. And that set a lot of people off. I saw that, my jaw dropped. I was like, there's no way they just dropped the quirky tag for the LGBT characters. Sure enough, they did. I believe that's when we got the Iceman outfit too as well for that month. What else was that? What else was not necessarily terrible. Oh yeah, the Veiled Threats event in July, which, oh yeah, that was part of the Black Widow event. That was the Veiled Threats, and that got us the costumes for Gamora, which I didn't unlock, and also the costume for Daredevil, which I definitely unlocked because I love me some Shadowlands. And I mean, come on, how could you not love that costume? I love that costume. As soon as I saw it, I was like, I don't know what's going on. Like, cool, Gamora's arena meta, but I want this costume. I got this one. I also got the Elektra costume with this as well, with my regular costume credits. I love it. I love it. Nothing else to say there. But yeah, costumes was a big thing that we started seeing this year. And there have been good costumes, like Shang-Chi. He got the MCU skin, and I love this a lot better than his traditional one that's based off of Bruce Lee, but just this, I like it. I like this costume. There's good costumes. There's also bad costumes. Like, I don't like Luke Cage's, but these are all kind of like subjective things. Like, it's based off of your own opinion. I don't like Luke Cage's outfit. I don't like Invisible Woman's outfit. Dawn of X is okay. Yeah, I don't like the Power Man. I don't know why I got the Siege. And the Verse costume for Captain Marvel, But I definitely want this costume for Groot, even though I never use him, because he's a Christmas tree. And we'll have the Spider-Man No Way Home costume here soon. But yeah, let's talk about bad events. And the worst event by far this year, I know people remember the Wolverine event and how that one was, you had to spend like $200 to get the Wolverine costume. I think the worst event this year was the Lunar Festival event, and that was in February into March. And oh man, the Lunar Festival was basically marketed as a Kraken event, and basically to get the best rewards from it, you had to spend 5,000 power cores a day. You just basically spend $50 worth, no, even more than $50. You just spend worth $60 to $70 worth of power cores a day. I don't even know what I'm going to spend that kind of power cores on to begin with. I guess store refreshes, but yeah, that was a big one. People were up in arms. So Scopely came back and said, yeah, we realize we screwed up here. Now you only have to spend 3K cores a day. Which, oh man, that was... I actually changed my name twice during that event. My original name was LOL 5K cores a day, and then I had to spend power cores to then switch it to 3 core Ks a day. If you actually go and look in DD4, the leaderboard here, yeah, this guy, this was Yags, the first guy to complete DD4. He actually changed his name to Lunar Crap Festive for a while, if I remember. Maybe it was someone else, but someone up here in the top of the leaderboard was like Lunar Crap Festive. It was freaking hilarious. Players were pissed about that event, and can you blame them? Asking players to spend 5,000 cores a day, like, get out of here. There's no way. We already mentioned the Wolverine event. That was where you got his Dawn of X costume, I believe. I believe it was called Dawn of X, but yeah, forcing players to spend money to unlock costumes. Not a good idea. Yeah, your Weapon X costume. And it wasn't even that good. I didn't like it. I didn't even care for it, which is why I didn't even bother considering spending money for this costume. But yeah, that one was terrible. And yeah, like I said, costumes are subjective, so people will like that. I did not enjoy this one. The VR headset kind of did it for me. But yeah, asking people to spend $200 to unlock this costume was no bueno. In terms of other events, I mean, there's plenty of others. There was the Kestrel Voyager event with the Nick Fury costume. That was the first costume event we really had. There was the Stellar Celebration, which was the anniversary event that came with Silver Surfer, and you used Cosmic Essence and bought orbs. There's the Magic event, the Seasonal Sorcery event, going with Magic now. There was the As Seen on TV event last month, which got you the Ultron costume, which I definitely got because that thing is crazy good. I love it. If you haven't seen What If yet, stop what you're doing and go watch What If. Also, he does have special animations with this costume. If you haven't noticed, he will use his lance to use his ultimate instead of like a big power beam from his face or from his chest, wherever. He uses his lance for the ultimate in that new costume, which is great. I love that. Love the little touches like that. But yeah, that's kind of it for events, and that's it for this video, man. We're going on for like 45 minutes. We gotta stop this. There's really nothing else to talk about. Like, that's all the stuff we had this year. The characters, the teams, the game modes, the 3 legendaries we had this year, the events, the good events, and the absolute garbage events. There's really nothing else to talk about, man. I mean, I don't want to make this video go on any longer. If I missed anything, or if you're a champ and you stuck around to the end of this video, good on you, man. But let me know what you guys think. What did you guys think of the year of 2021 with Marvel Strike Force? I know probably a lot of you have some negative feelings towards this game because it's not been the best year. Let me know what you guys think down below. As always, make sure to hit that like button, share, and subscribe. I will see you guys next time.